On today's IRS tax refund update, with just 2 weeks to go until the tax filing deadline, we will take a look at the latest developments, including the release date for the next round of tax refunds scheduled for release, as well as some concerning numbers just released by the IRS on the growing amount of unprocessed tax returns. And from there, we will take a look at some updates for those who have had their tax returns on hold due to reviews appearing under the 570 tax transcript code, and the next round of updates for those tax transcripts and refund status results. Starting off with the latest, as the next round of direct deposit tax refunds is scheduled for release on April 3rd, as confirmed by the refund status results and tax transcripts seen here. And if you are part of this latest refund batch, do allow up until April 8th for that refund to post to your bank account before initiating a payment trace with the IRS. Now, the IRS has released its latest processing update and is now reporting 79.2 million tax returns have been processed out of over 80.4 million received. And while that represents a 98% processing rate, there are now over 1.2 million tax returns, including many of yours that still remain unprocessed. Now, many of our viewers who are experiencing delays have been impacted by the 570 code on their tax transcripts, which represents a hold on the tax return pending further action. The 570 code does not specify what exactly is the cause of the delay, but the two top causes so far this year have been the tax return in question has been selected for a random review of the wage and/or tax withholdings being reported, followed by the need to complete ID verification. Unfortunately, there have been a handful of individuals spreading misinformation in the comment sections of previous videos, stating that any tax return being delayed due to a 570 transcript code has not had their refund released, and we can report that is completely false, with those comments having since been removed. Since our last update, we have had several viewers reach out to us, some who have been experiencing delays since January, reporting that their refund has finally been released. The viewer who provided this transcript filed their tax return back on January 20th, and several weeks later reported the 570 and 971 codes with different dates appearing on their tax transcripts as seen here. Now, the letter being sent out by the IRS, which is represented by the 971 code, did not in fact arrive in the mail by March 4th, and actually did not show up until 2 weeks later. But this viewer had taken our advice and opted to receive online letters, and did receive the letter electronically on March 4th, which was a CP05 notice like many of you have received, informing them they needed additional time to review the wages and earnings being reported, and no further action was necessary. 2 weeks ago, the viewer at that point followed our second piece of advice and created an account on the Social Security website to verify their wages, and discovered those wages which were actually incorrect. The viewer then called the Social Security Administration, who told them not to call back until September, and nothing else could be done, however. After last week's transcript update reported this movement, which include the 571 code appearing along with the 846 refund issue code with that April 3rd refund date. Now, this situation indicated an instance where the wages reported compared to what was on file did not match. However, the IRS was able to resolve the issue on their own without the need for the viewer to submit proof of earnings. So it is important to note that some of you who call under this scenario will simply need to allow the IRS to address the issues and resolve themselves, whereas others will need to submit requested paperwork to the IRS so that processing can continue. Meanwhile, another viewer who reported a refund date after their latest transcript update had a different situation. In this case, they filed on January 19th, also before the tax filing period opened. But it was only after verifying their identity during the week of March 18th did they finally see an update the following week with the 571 transcript code, which resolved the previous tax hold and the issuance of that tax refund. It is also important to note in this case, they never received a letter in the mail and did not sign up for electronic notices, so they have no idea what that letter represented. We have heard from a number of you still experiencing delays, and we can report that 50% of those who voted in our last poll still experiencing delays filed their tax returns during the first 2 weeks of the tax season as seen here. Meanwhile, 23% of you who filed your tax return before the start of tax season are still experiencing delays, with 18% who filed between February 12th and March 1st still reporting delays, with the remainder filing after that. Now, this poll has confirmed the trend all season long that early tax filers have or are currently experiencing some of the longest delays. Our continued recommendation is not to file before the tax season officially begins, regardless of whether or not you have had any issues in the past, and ideally should wait until the second or third week of the tax season before filing your tax returns. And finally, a reminder for those waiting on those transcript updates that the update will depend on the last 2 digits of your tax transcript cycle code. Most viewers have been reporting a cycle code ending in 05, which means you can expect to receive an update on Friday mornings with your refund status results updating on Saturday mornings. For those with codes ending in 1 through 04, yours can update through the week with usually the largest tax transcript update occurring on Tuesday mornings. Please remember that your tax transcripts and refund status results will never update at the same time as they are updated separately on 2 different systems. Let us know in the comment section below about your ongoing tax issue. In the meantime, we will keep monitoring the situation for further developments, so make sure to click on the thumbs up and subscribe button below for future updates on this channel, and thanks for watching.